All right. Now, this paid for StreamYard software doesn't allow me to actively monitor my audio volumes uh, while I'm doing it live. So I'm going to have to watch and listen on my phone to make sure this shit isn't like, blaring. I changed it up a little bit. I've been doing videos with Ray, and my audio always sounds like buzzy, which is weird. But yeah, speaking of which, make sure you go watch that. We did a video. We dropped it last night. It's like an hour and some change. We talked about the worst movies of all time. Clearly, I haven't even showered since then. Wearing the same shirt. But yeah, I do have some information I want to talk about. I'm going to try to do these live stream plot leaks once a week. Pretty sure for the most part at the beginning, we'll probably get more people watching them after the fact. So please do me a massive favor. Thank you for everybody who's watching right now in the chat. I'm going to take some questions from y'all in a little bit, but also please slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 42069. Oh yeah, let me make sure the audio is good. I guess I could just ask the chat. Hey chat, is the audio good? Let me see. I'll just listen on my phone. Oh, sounds good. All right, cool. All right, so the very first thing I wanted to talk about, just for some visuals, I'm gonna have this clip playing in the background. I might switch it out here and there. But yeah, we'll do that. I'll have that play while I'm talking. So I actually did this in a video the other day. I'm going to run through it here. Maybe I can take some questions from you guys about it. But basically, this person mentions that in the first few episodes, over 7 cast members will die. But not to worry, because some of them will reappear in flashbacks. I don't think YouTube likes for me to not have my face going. So we'll just leave Danny up while I'm reading this. All right, Tyrion. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And then they also mentioned that in episode 1 alone, over 5 different named dragons will appear. So named meaning like we're going to get their name said on screen. We'll probably get to know the writers a little bit. And that also more of them are shown as like a panned out shot, kind of like a like they start from far out and they're zooming over King's Landing and we zoom over the dragon pit, and there's more dragons that are seen obviously in there. They'll probably later be named. They also mentioned that several never before seen locations are going to be shown. Basically, they mentioned that in general, the series feels so much bigger than the original series. They mentioned that the first season alone is equivalent to later seasons of Game of Thrones. So that'd be like season 6, 7, and 8, right? So you had everyone sort of their storylines are kind of coalescing, like coming together, right? So you get to see like these far reaches of Westeros, but and the Planetos, I guess, Daenerys being across the narrow sea, but also they mentioned that it's this series feels more like it's set the stakes in the beginning rather are like for the main storyline seem a lot higher, right? So whereas Game of Thrones was kind of a slow build, obviously the end of the season, for the first season at least, this series jumps right into it. So that's why when we get those flashbacks showing, younger Rhaenyra, younger Alicent, what went on to really cause the dance, it's going to sort of be like a breath of fresh air because the main storyline is just going to be breakneck. There's going to be shit happening all the time, and it's going to feel like, so much more is at stake than the earlier seasons. They also mentioned that the budget. Now, this one's kind of controversial. I don't know about this, but they I guess I'll address those bullshit ass rumors. But they mentioned that the budget is going to be $75 million with the option to expand, obviously, in post-production if needed for CGI for the dragons. And there's a rumor going around. The only source of these rumors are a fan account on Twitter. Hot. I don't even want to say their fucking name because they say like nonsense. And they also post photos that aren't theirs and don't credit the source. They do it so much to that the people that repost those photos think that they're the ones who actually took them. I need to do a better job about linking sources in general. But anyway, they mentioned that fucking House of the Dragon is going to be out until next year, but there's going to be a teaser in 2 weeks. Get the fuck out of here. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. If that's the case, then we should already have a Lord of the Rings teaser, right? No, not going to happen. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Most of the time when people send real information, not just to myself, but really to any other YouTuber that breaks shit like that, or to some of the online Game of Thrones sites, like winterscoming.net, they send it, and then most of the time it's like through a message or something, so they don't actually reveal who the fuck they are. This person is saying some crazy shit, like basically HBO didn't like the CGI on the dragons, so they're gonna go ahead and let the teaser come out, but they're gonna redo, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's fucking bullshit. I seen it like whipping up into a frenzy online. I'm addressing it here. It's fucking nonsense. Most of the shit that I mentioned in my videos is nonsense also, but that's such blatant nonsense. It's just like, why the fuck would you do that? Yeah, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is going to take a year and a half to fucking film for the first season, and they started last year. No, that's so, it's whatever. But they also mentioned, and these are some of the leaked scenes. So a few of these different, like, this different information comes from a few different sources. Sorry, my brain is not all the way together. But the first scene is basically a child with white hair being chased down a hallway. Another man appears and then grabs the child. The scene ends with a woman screaming and someone being chased through a crowd of Kingsguard with several knights in tow. The scene is filmed inside Leavesden studio and will require 50 extras. Horses are used and it will take 4 days to shoot. The casting call is said to be announced within the next couple of weeks. And then the next scene, I'm just going through this and then I'm going to do some questions. The next scene is this one was fucking exciting, right? So basically this person says that this comes from about the stuntmen. They need stuntmen with experience using something called a tuning fork, which in Maleficent, let me see if I can't pull that up. Hang on one second. Oh, a literal tuning fork. No, I didn't actually mean that. Okay, so here we go. Basically, if this is true, and even if it isn't, they should use it. I'm not disabling my ad blocker. Suck my nuts. I don't want to watch 40 ads for your shit information. All right. So basically, hang on one second. All right. So share screen, window. All right, so y'all should be able to see that. But basically, a tuning fork is in films where the characters are flying. A tuning fork is used to control and safely suspend the actors or stunt doubles in the air. Two prongs are attached to both sides of the performer's body, and the rig is then controlled by a steering wheel that is driven by stunt people in blue or green suits, obviously later to be edited out in post. Now, that is fucking dope. I don't know if it's true. Like, oh, wow, I'm fucking hideous right now. Hang on, let me share something so my face isn't that large. Hang on. That's one of my favorite. Oh, it still did it. Yo, how you gonna play me like that? There we go. Aria! Aria! That's like my favorite scene. I'm gonna play it one more time. Aria! That's impeccable acting class from Sophie Turner there. But yeah, what the fuck was that? Oh yeah, tuning fork. If that rumor is complete bullshit, House of the Dragon, anybody watching this, y'all need to get on that. There are several scenes from the books in particular that involve close-ups of dragon riders. Now, obviously, we know the battle above the God's Eye, but really, the tuning fork is something that could be used in any of these dragon shots. Doesn't have to just be battles. We could see, like, I got leaks from 2 years ago at this point, talking about how there's just like a display of dragon skill. So, like, Daenerys had only been riding her dragon for a little bit. You saw she hopped on the pits of Daznak and took flight, maybe 20 or 30 times. We'd have to see. Obviously, not all of those are shown on screen, but she has very little experience flying her dragons. These Targaryens, it's not the same. They know how their dragons work. Their dragon eggs, spent time with them in their cribs. They bonded with these dragons. They know so much more than Daenerys does. So something like a tuning fork would be perfect to show close up. So you don't just have to have like CGI with the rider looking super small, and more so we're just looking at the dragon. You could have actual close ups, not just like with Jon, almost falling off the Viserion or whatever, or Rhaegal. But there's so much possibilities that can be used with this. I don't know. You all let me know down below in the comment section and also in the chat. I'm about to get on that. And then the last thing this person mentions that, to add to lastly what I was just saying about the tuning fork is that no pyrotechnics were used and that the entirety of filming took place over 6 weeks. And it was one of the first things that was shot at Leavesden. So I don't know how credible that information is, but apparently they've said that a lot of they mean that a lot of those tuning fork scenes have already been filmed. And then the third thing they mention is this scene we see in pictures, and it's the 5-year tourney. These are, obviously these images that we have of the massive tent action that's been going on. Hang on 1 second. I'll pull it up for y'all. It's been going on at the somewhere in the UK where they're filming this. There we go. But yeah, so this leak goes along with that. They said it's linked to Daemon crashing on the beach, and it involves with this 5-year tourney. And it says this is after he returns from the stepstones. He's basically putting on a scene for Viserys by making it seem as though he's been struggling with the stepstones, but in all actuality, he's just been occasionally flying in on his dragon, and Corlys has been doing the hard duties. Daemon has just managed a campaign of fear and torture and brutality. So I don't know how true that last part is. That's not necessarily book canon. That's not what really goes down in the stepstones. Daemon is very much hands-on, but I just think it would be an interesting sort of twist to do, because it would show certain aspects of Daemon's personality that are kind of true, but then it sort of like makes the adaptation have its own legs, right? So you can kind of do that favorite thing, subvert watchers' expectations, but without actually doing it, just sort of like twisting what we know just a little bit, maybe altering it. I think that would be for an interesting take on his character. I'm not saying that I agree with that. That's what's going to happen. I just think that's an interesting take. Let's see comments. Oh shit! It shows me the comments over here. Oh, that's cool. Shout out to Alok 101, Black Winter Gaming, K3G92. What up, y'all? Audio's good. All right, cool. Viserys throwing a big ass party. Hell yeah, he's the party king. Now supposedly they had actually exited that location. Like they're not even there anymore. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that. But I will say that whatever was filmed, it's possible that they just needed outdoor shots, right? So they had these tents set up on location. They had several of the actors that had to be filmed outside go there. So we saw Millie Alcock, the young Rhaenyra. We saw her, and then we saw like a few of the King's guards. We saw the horse. We saw the King's party. Maybe all of those other scenes that go along with this episode or this scene from the episode are filmed indoors at that Linden studio, just to keep it extra under wraps. And if they're filmed inside of a tent, that's really fucking easy to recreate on a green screen. That would also keep sort of wraps. Like we know Rhaenyra shows up. Obviously, it's a Targaryen fucking fest, right? But that's kind of it. We know there's a few more characters, but we don't know exactly what this is. They're kind of keeping the timeline somewhat under wraps. Let's see. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. The release date. That was kind of, I guess that went along with that, like the trailer rumors of the person saying like, a teaser trailer in the next couple of weeks, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, don't trust that shit. Obviously, I sound like a giant hypocrite because I make plot leak videos and all of that. But it's also like, I always say take that shit with a grain of salt. I forgot to do it in a lot of more recent videos. But you always got to take that shit with a grain of salt, because it's not meant to do anything other than keep us entertained throughout the long nights. The wait for House of the Dragon season 1, or the wait for Game of Thrones movie, or whatever. I will start jumping in the chat because I got through that information a lot quicker. We've only been live for 13 fucking minutes. I guess I'll mention this real quick. That I think the next thing we're going to be seeing as far as leaks, maybe, whoa, God, Jesus, I didn't even brush my hair. Here, let me pull up the, what's its fuck? See if anything's popped up just since I started doing this. There we go. I don't think anything has, but we'll see. Nope, just that picture of Matt Smith in his hat. That's that information. Sourcing that is Los Siguientes Reinos. That's like my favorite favorite online spoiler site to say. Obviously, we have winterscoming.net, Watchers on the Wall, but Los Siete Reinos is the most fun to say. It says, Hoy en Los Siete Reinos os tramos. I'm not even about to do this. I'm just butchering. Basically, today in the Seven Kingdoms, we bring you, and this is from Javi Marcos. Hey, that's my name. Today in the Seven Kingdoms, we bring you exclusive images about the filming of House of the Dragon. Thanks to our friend Jorge, we have obtained the first photographs of Matt Smith, who plays Daemon Targaryen in the series, in the castle La Calahorra. And it is that the filming is already begun in the Granada site of the first spinoff of the Game of Thrones series. Everything indicates that most of the House of the Dragon recordings in La Calahorra will take place in the inner courtyard of the castle, although surely the exteriors of the building are also used for the filming of a specific scene. For something, actors and producers, basically they're saying, like, actors and producers walked along the walls of the imposing fortification both today and Friday. And as far as they know, Los Siete Reinos, being they, filming at the... Am I sharing this? Can y'all see this? No, y'all can't. What the fuck? Hang on. Let me share this. There we go. Okay. I'm a jackass. As far as they know, filming at the castle had not yet started this weekend, but they had already been warned. Technically, the filming in La Calahorra was going to last from October 1st through the 10th, although actual filming days are fewer than that, and the standard filming will surely begin tomorrow on Monday. Maybe they give the actors some time off. Maybe Matt Smith is just like, yo, this is a dope-ass castle. They say, we believe that a figure that has caught our attention is that of Greg Yantis, one of the directors of the series. This dude's like a super fan. He's always posting pictures and shit. Like, he was one of the first people from the show to like leak information. He like put a picture of like background set drops and shit. On Friday, we intuited Olivia Cook, but without clarity of Matt Smith, whom we had not seen without any doubt today. And there he is. So basically, Matt Smith is over there in Spain and he's ready to start filming. I think it would be interesting if we got to see more of it. And I'm not talking about Lady Olenna and Daenerys, Danny, but Dragonstone, interior shots of Dragonstone. That's probably what they're filming in La Calahorra. La Calahorra. All right, but yeah, look, I'm fumbling through my shit here. Let me take some questions. I should be able to share the chat, right? I popped it out, right? Oh, but it's just doing... That's weird. Don't do that. Okay. I guess I can't. I'll just play a video. Play different clips. I'll try to change the clips out just because it's like more fun for people to watch, while I'm talking, because my face is in my ugly mug. The characters you fall in love with in season 1 will die and say, hell yeah. Like a lot of the named actors, a lot of the bigger ones that a lot of people are most excited about fucking die early as hell. Do you think the dragons in the show will have 4 legs? No. What? I mean, they're gonna look exactly what the fuck? Y'all tripping me up with these questions. These are what the dragons are gonna look like. If you guys want to see the dragons, hang on one second. The dragons are gonna look the exact same as the ones that Daenerys had, except for the biggest thing is obviously they're gonna look different in their colors. Obviously, they're going to be different in their sizes. Some of them are going to have different facial features. They're not going to look the exact same. I think the big thing is that Daenerys' dragon eggs are from a clutch. So they're from, like, mostly the same dragon. I can't think of that dragon's name right now, but we know who's Daenerys' dragons are from because of the Fire and Blood Part 1. The bitch who stole them and took them away. Those are Daenerys' dragon eggs that were gifted to her by Illyrio Mopatis. So we know who their lineage comes from. Maybe that's why those dragons look similar. Obviously, their color patterns are different, but their facial features are the exact same. So these dragons are going to look the same as Daenerys' dragons. I think It's not 4 legs. Technically, it's like an armed leg and then 2 back legs. No creature on Earth ever has had 4 fucking independent legs and then wings on the back. Doesn't exist in nature. George didn't draw them like that, I think, for that exact reason. Also, aren't those wyverns? I don't know. Whatever. That was from Laura. Jeff Matthews said, glad to see there is something new. Hell yeah. House of the Dragon is, like, in my opinion, because titties and because dragons and because war and because the human emotion, like the human condition, is what made Game of Thrones the greatest. This series, potentially, because the story's already finished being written by the creator of this series, George R. Martin, has the potential to be better than the original. Like, they've got 10 years of experience of what the favorite parts, what everybody's favorite parts were to watch. They've got that, like, afraid to adapt certain storylines because they don't know of audience reaction. All of that's gone. They know what works. They know what to do. It's good. This show is going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait. And I know, like, there's going to be problems with it, but for the most part, it's going to be the greatest thing ever, right? Like, I can't fucking wait. The CGI in Game of Thrones was second to none. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Like, even if you don't agree with the writing, right? This CGI was excellent. It was light years ahead of its time, and it still is. Obviously, it still holds up. It's just from 2 years ago. But that's one thing that, like, all of those YouTube channels, all of those fans in general, they may not, the ones that bash season 8, they don't like it. They say it's rewatchable, but you don't hear them saying the CGI sucked dick balls. They didn't say the dragons look retarded or really bad, I meant that, like, as an engine timing over retarded. My car is bricked sitting in my driveway. The Mustang has not been driven in like 6 fucking months. My engine timing is over retarded. I have to replace the engine. It's not as simple as that. There's some more shit to it, but that's how I meant it in that sense. Not like someone with a mental handicap, obviously. There was something else that I wanted to address here. Oh yeah, questions. I was kind of doing that. One from Baron Jack. This says, do you think we will see Casterly Rock? Oh, that is dope. I could highlight the question on it. That's so fucking cool. Baron Jack, I'm making you famous, my dude. You just do that. There we go. All right, whatever. I'll show my ugly fucking mug. Do you think we will see Casterly Rock? Well, of course. We've got Tyland and Jason Lannister. The one dude who's playing twins. He was a Knight of the Vale. I think that's who's playing him. Let me bring that shit up real quick. Don't forget to go check out Los Siete Reinos, winterscoming.net, and Watchers on the Wall. Those are the official online sources for leaked information. For House of the Dragon, just anything Game of Thrones. And Winter is Coming specifically, they cover all types of shit. They don't just do Song of Ice and Fire. No, hang on one second. Got to make sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure the guy that played the fucking Knight of the Vale is playing the Lannister twin brothers. Yes. Jefferson Hall is his name. So yeah, he's playing, Tyland and Jason. That's going to be really challenging. Like, they have personalities, but it's like, man, we just saw you, bitch. Also, how are they going to do it like how they did Phoebe and her twin sister on Friends, where, like, you only see it from the back of his head? Are they going to, like, superimpose his face on a stand-in? I hope it doesn't look stupid like Edward and Bella's baby in fucking Breaking Dawn. Oh my God. What the fuck was that? Why the fuck did they do that? What the fuck? That shit looked terrible. God damn. You want to talk about CGI being shitty? That is some shitty CGI. This was 2011 when that fucking shit came out. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out the same year. What the fuck? Who the fuck was the idiot that was like, hey, they're not even going to notice. Let's just CGI the baby's face. No one's going to be looking at the baby that hard. Like, what the fuck? That's so crazy. That is completely unrelated, but that is the prime example of terrible, overutilized CGI. Like, what the fuck? But yes, we will 100% be seeing Casterly Rock. Jason and Thailand are named characters, so I expect we'll be seeing a lot of them in the first season. And then because I didn't show it, this one was the other one. It says, "Do you think the dragons will have 4 legs?" Yes, I think they were going to continue how they look with Daenerys' dragons. Lady Shariak said, "Hey, Sir Hunts. Hey, how's it going?" Winterfell 26 says, "Kind of like the bad deer in The Walking Dead. That shit sucked." Oh yeah, where Carl got shot through the bing bing. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, zigzag. Should have zagged when you should have zigged. Was there any questions that I missed? So excited to see the different places, and would be cool to see more secrets that the castles hold. Hell yes, there's so much to play with. Like there's certain mysteries to this story where certain characters like the Master of Whisperers, Harwin, like he's implicated in certain things because of their knowledge, much like Viserys, of the back alleyways or like the inner workings of the Red Keep. So that's one thing they get to explore on this series. Like, not only will Dragonstone look amazing, I've been saying this for so long, I feel like I'm fucking repeating myself, but Dragonstone is in its prime during this time, and it was very neglected. Obviously, Stannis was inhabiting it, but it wasn't like upkept as much as something like King's Landing on specific the Red Keep, right? So I think it would be best to really show the difference in time in this series is to show Dragonstone and film it at a new castle, which could be what they're filming in La Calahorra, I think that was it. But yeah, I think it's also awesome to further explore some of the mysteries that maybe Game of Thrones never got to answer. Like, I don't know where the original cat's paw dagger, where did that come from? Maybe someone in House Targaryen during this time period had it. Maybe Dark Sister was forged into it. We don't know. It would be interesting to see. Like, obviously, that's not what happens in the books. Jason CK says, "This is everything I've ever wanted in a show. Dragons, dragon riders, and dragon battles." And my friendy, you forgot. Titties for the city. Titties. We need titties. There has to be, I mean, whatever. You can show dick too. I don't give a fuck. Titties. Like, one of the Targaryens has to like either be in a battle and their shirt gets exposed and we see nipples or something, and they go and hop on the dragon and they're like flying and you see weightless space titties or something. I'm just kidding. But yes, that would be fucking dope. Yes, it really is. It really is perfect. It really is perfect. It's like all of the key elements for Game of Thrones, like packaged into a new series, into a story that, yes, we're familiar with it, but there's so many, liberties, so to speak, that these writers could take, still remain in canon. And they're also, Ryan Condal is a massive fan, right? So I said this before with Ray, my podcast that we did last week, where we talked about all the leaks. I'll try to link that down below in the description. We also did one last night talking about the shittiest movies ever. I did a rant about All Tomorrows. I thought it was pretty funny. Ray had never heard of that. It's fucking hilarious to watch him react to it. But yeah, like I forgot what my point was. Yeah, perfect. All of this stuff in the new show. It's gonna be amazing. Lady Shar says, "When is this coming out? Is there an expected date?" So if you Google January 1st, 2022. But no, probably if I had to guess, I would say no later than July of next year. I don't think they want to have it on at the same time as Lord of the Rings Amazon series. Not that they're fucking worried, but it's just too much to take in because they do weekly episodes as well. It's not like with Netflix where they release all their episodes in the same day and you just kind of binge. You can't really break down episode by episode series like that because everybody kind of watches differently. It'll be interesting to see how I'll do The Witcher season 2 because I didn't get into it until like it had been out for 2 weeks the first season, and then I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? I didn't play Witcher 3, so I had no idea about the lore. I didn't want to read the books. I didn't have the time to do it. I don't have the time to do it now, but I think I've learned enough about the lore where I could maybe break down the episodes. Obviously, I'll try to have someone join me if I do like live streams or some shit about that. That's way more knowledgeable. Specifically, Aziz from History of Westeros. I know he has his own Witcher podcast. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I can't fucking remember the name of it. I don't know. Someone who's watching who knows the podcast. I know the logo, but I can't think of the name of it. And I also, yeah. So I don't think they're going to time it to come out, like The Witcher comes out in December, then Amazon has their shit coming out. So to me, it just makes sense to do it in July of next year. I guess now's the time to announce it. I have another baby on the way. Guess when my baby's due date is? April next year. Another baby. Baby number 2. April next year. A month and a half after the Vegas convention. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I might need to be sending people's money back. I don't know how I'm going to do that with GoFundMe. But yep. Crazy. What if the show premieres the same night I'm in the hospital watching my son we don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, watching my baby being born. Nuts. 2022 is going to be the best year of all time. Not just for fantasy, but yeah, that's right. Breaking the news here. I haven't told anybody yet. We wanted to wait till longer, but I haven't been promoting the GoFundMe as much because of that. I need to, obviously figure out what I'm going to do with that. I may still be able to go. It's just that timing is too. I don't like that. I'm going to have a baby a month from when that date is. Anything could happen. I don't like traveling literally all the way across the United States. It's not like we live in England or something where everything's like a 2-hour drive away. I live in the middle of the East Coast, and fucking Las Vegas is somewhere way over here. Not quite West Coast. It's in Nevada. Too far. It's in the desert. Anything could happen. People are fucking retards on the plane. Again, retarded, like the timing on a car engine. I don't trust it. Even though I have my vaccine, I'll be fully masked. People are idiots. I can't risk getting that shit and then coming home and bringing it. I don't know. I need to figure it out. But continuing on here. Sir Hunt the Perv. I love it. I guess that was talking about the titties. Devin, Brazil says hi. Hey, what up, dude? Lord Crackhead, congrats. Thanks, man. Thank you. Oh, hell yeah, congratulations. Hell yeah, it would be, right? Like I'm like babe, push. Oh my god, she hopped on the dragon. Babe, keep pushing. Oh my god, this series is amazing. Like that. My new baby coming into the world, listening to me watch House of the Dragon for the first time. Like, what? Oh my god. That would be fucking amazing. What a great night. There was a couple. John Haymaker says, I can't stay for the stream. I'm at work. Just want to say hi. No doubt, brother. It will be here when you get back. This was more like a having fun. I did the plot leak at the beginning. That was what most people were going to want to watch. And it's like, I did uninterrupted that. This is a lot more fun. Englishman living in Egypt says hi and congrats. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is nerve-wracking, but I'll tell you this. If we had waited a couple of years, it would be so much scarier because we just did this. We just brought a baby home. We just took care of this little thing that couldn't do anything, and he now beats the shit out of us daily. We just did that. So it's like, to me at least, I'm like, we can do it again. Obviously, it's going to be the hardest thing ever of all time, but we literally just did it. So it's like, we still can use the same stuff we just had. We know what to expect. We're used to not getting any sleep. So I don't know. It's awesome. I'm really excited. We have not come up with any names yet because we don't know the sex. But I thought Mark Jr. would be good if it's a boy. Mainly because I'm named after my dad. He's kind of, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to insult my dad, but he's a bit of a piece of shit. He's an absentee, especially since I'm a father. I know what the fuck it's like to have children, right? So I know my dad's kind of a piece of shit. But I just thought if I named my child after me, I think that would be cool because I know I'm going to be way more in a part of his life, right? So I don't know. Or their life, whatever. And then I also said for a girl, I said Marquita. My girlfriend thought that was pretty funny. And then she said, how about Marquetta? And then we laughed and didn't say it. So maybe that's a potential name. We don't know. Lady Shar said, I missed the plot leak often. Fear not. I'll go over it again. It's pretty dope. It's actually a combination of a few scenes and some leaked plot details. Mostly tuning fork. Super excited about that. I cannot get over that. That is, even if, like I said, even if that's bullshit. Excuse me. That's why you don't drink coffee before you get gassy. Even if they don't, even if that rumor's bullshit, you 100% should do this. It's basically the best way to show a rider up close, have the actual actor moving through the air and have like wind going through the hair. Like the behind the scenes shit that I've seen with Maleficent using this is dope. She's like flying through with other fairies and they like stop and have a conversation mid-flight. It looks so realistic. I'm not saying we need that for House of the Dragon, but what I am saying is don't be fools. Use it. Get the tuning fork. Throw Rhaenyra in this. Throw Daemon in this. Fuck. It'll be perfect. Like, it'll look probably something like I've shared this before and I've linked their information before, but I'll re-link it now or I'll re-share it now. It's from Till Sander Tigtemeyer. I follow them on Instagram. Make sure you go follow them. They are a concept artist that work on this show. But basically we could do something like this, where we have the close-ups of the dragons and then bam, the camera pans, zooms, flies into the rider's face. We see the wings flapping. We see the saddle moving. We just get close-ups. Wind whizzing in their hair. I think I'm going to land down there. There's fucking too many people over here. Okay, I love you, Uncle Damon. All right, let's do it. Like, come on, man. Like, you could have a conversation. The possibilities are literally endless. Like I said, if the rumor is bullshit, they should totally 100% make it not bullshit and actually use it for the show. I've missed out on a couple of questions here. Winterfell says, let me stop sharing this. Hang on 1 second. You would have to call your baby after someone in the show if born that same night. I don't know about that. Luke kind of was like, obviously Luke Skywalker, Viserys, Lucius. Like there's, kind of. But don't tell my girlfriend that. Just Luke, just regular Luke. Jason CK says, I have 2 daughters and they are 2 years apart. Having them closer together usually helps with a closer bond between siblings. Usually, yes. My sister, however, 3 years older than I, and for the most part, growing up, we fucking butted heads like crazy. Like when I was 9, she punched me in the chest and knocked the wind out of me. And I did the same thing to her. And my fucking parent, obviously I didn't know, like we're wrestling and shit. I have younger brother, whatever. My sister is not a punk bitch, right? So I did that same thing to her, knocked the wind out of her. Obviously she got super upset. That's when the parents came back here when they heard her crying and they were like, look, if you ever do that again, we're gonna call the police on you. So like, I mean, that obviously didn't, like, we're good now. We're close now. I think me having kids brought us a lot closer now, but sometimes that's not necessarily always the case. Obviously, hopefully with my children, that will be the case. They are a lot closer. Quoting Winterfell 26, what name from the Song of Ice and Fire would fit your baby? Well, that's hard. I haven't met them yet. Luke, probably right now, for how Luke is right now, Daemon. I accidentally said demon in one video for like 5 times when I was reading a plot leak, but he's a little demon. He right now, it's crazy because he's not even 1 yet. He's like just turned 9 months on September 30th, but it's like, yo, he's crazy. He's got these 2 little tiny bottom teeth that are like can openers. He grabs my fucking ears, pulls them towards him, kicks me in the he's so violent. And it's adorable, it's cute, but it actually does hurt sometimes. Like the other day, he went to go to try to stand up and his head fucking literally left a bruise. Like he just went all up my shit and just barely with like the little bit of movement. The littlest of movements will fuck your whole shit up because you're just like trying to cuddle and he's like boom, 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 like headbutt you 4 times. It's crazy. But I guess Daemon, because he's a demon. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Carl fucking Tana from Gin Alley, any man, anytime. I don't know. I have twin daughters named Arya and Khaleesi. No idea how I came up with them. Yeah, me neither. Apparently, that was a thing. Like 2015, 2014, maybe 2016. One of the most named, one of the most Jesus fucking Christ, Mark. One of the most common UK girl names was Arya. I thought maybe it could have been over here. Cedric Santiago says, "Congrats on the kids, bro. Thank you, thank you." Share the music, or Lady Shar says, "Please let there be saddles." Fuck yeah! Here, let me give you a reaction. Let me give you an act out of a saddle on a dragon. It's been a long time, Uncle. Something, yada yada. You're right. Yada yada. Diving down. Daemon has to literally put one leg up here, put the other leg up here, and then hop down, right? From midair. So there has to be a fucking saddle. Kondo, if you're watching this and you have not yet articulated how you want these saddles to look, let me give you some help. Let's see. Let's type in drag. Apparently, I don't know how to spell. I would like it to look more complex than this, but this is actually pretty close to how I would imagine it looking. Something very similar. So I don't know if you all can see that, but it's basically like just a tweaked horse saddle, right? So we'll have like obviously some Targaryen designs. We don't need nothing like this fancy, with like the high deviant art kind of shit where like, they have like a lot of spikes and curves and shit. That's not realistic. We need something just plain like this. Literally a horse saddle with some Targaryen affix to it. Like that's not even difficult. You could actually make them small, so it's not like something that you'd have to separately CGI. You could make it so that it's mostly covered by the rider when they're on the dragon. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's what I would do. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be super fancy. We just need nods to the source material. We need that scene to be as accurate as possible. That's going to be the most watched clip from House of the Dragon, the Battle Above the God's Eye. We don't need nothing crazy. Like this, that kind of is my idea, is like most of the saddle's sort of covered by the rider here. So it's like, you don't have to worry about having some fancy shit. And you know what? When they have the culling of the dragon seeds in like, Rhaenyra supposedly comes up with the idea, or basically Rhaenyra is like, yo, we need more riders. Let's see if any of these people over here can mount dragons. When they do something like that, they could then maybe you could sort of switch up and have like a different style of saddle, maybe one less ornate. I don't know. I'm just fucking brainstorming. This part's usually cut out of my video. Look, they even have saddles on the Night Fury from How to Train Your Dragon. Is that how he trains his dragon? He just throws a saddle on it? Doesn't Jon Snow do his voice? I can't remember. I've never actually seen that movie. I've seen clips of it though. Let's see. Jason CK says, "Can't wait to see Bloodworm." Hell yes. And for those who are unaware, Caraxes is a red dragon, and he's a fucking ferocious. This is actually the concept art. I'll show this. This is concept art from the show. This is what Caraxes' head will look like, right? So Caraxes is smaller than Vhagar, but the fact that they're red demon means that they're ferocious. Red dragons in particular have always been known to be some of the most vicious dragons in A Song of Ice and Fire. Now, Martin mentions that he hopes to see the personality of these dragons. One of the ways to show how vicious Caraxes is by having them next to a dragon who's bigger than them during feeding time, but showing that Caraxes is the dominant one by eating most of the meal. Now, I know that sounds like I've got some sort of inside information, and maybe I do. Maybe I've seen that trailer that everybody else saw back in the summertime. I'm just kidding. I'm totally lying about that. But no, that would be dope. You could have a dominance play, right? So maybe one of the other dragons walks up and pisses on all the other. I'm just kidding. But no, the feeding thing really does work. Like you could have Caraxes sort of lunging and biting at anyone, which is what happened with Drogon. It showed you how Drogon was going to be the biggest because he got the first choice of the meal, right? And it showed that he was the leader. So you could sort of do that with Caraxes when they're around other dragons. Maybe some of the other dragons are more tame and they go inside of the dragon pit and they allow themselves to be locked up, whereas Caraxes like, fuck you, I'm flying, sort of that independent free spirit. Now, it's not as big as Drogon, but equally as vicious. Drogon is like a mix of a red and a black dragon. So he has the large size like Balerion the Black Dread, but he's also vicious like Caraxes. Headbanger like his dad. Fuck yeah. Baby bottles and House of the Dragon will bring you true happiness. Hell yeah. Paris Love Doll says, finally made it to your live. Hell yeah. Welcome. We'll go on for a little bit longer here. We've been going on for about 45 minutes now. Let's see if I missed any. Oh, I missed the plot leak. Yeah, so since we're getting towards the end of this, Lady Shar said I missed the plot leak. I'm going to just re-go over it real quick. Hang on one second. I will pull this up, and I will skip through that. All right, so basically, yes, I am still streaming Olivia, if you are watching this. My girlfriend. I'm streaming still. I'm talking like Yoda. So basically, in the first episodes, I'll just run through these quickly. In the first episodes, over 7 cast members will die. Cast members meaning named people that have been listed, and then some of them that haven't been officially confirmed by HBO. They die, but some of them will reappear in flashbacks. And then they also mentioned that in episode 1 alone, over 5 named dragons appear, and more are shown in a flash over the dragon pit. Several never before seen locations are shown, and in general, the series feels so much bigger than the original. Much like with Game of Thrones in the later seasons, in season 7, season 8, this series starts out like that. And they also mentioned that the main storyline, that's the one that the dance where everything is happening, obviously not with younger Rhaenyra and younger Alicent, that's the one that feels breakneck speed. There's a bunch of shit that happens early on that obviously sort of jumps into it, but when we flash back, that's going to be sort of like the pacing break where you kind of get to relax for a little bit. You get to see more of the information that they talked about or that was I guess referenced on screen. The budget is supposedly going to be $75 million with the option to expand as needed in post-production for CGI. And then the 2 scenes are, one of them is a child with white hair, obviously a Targaryen, being chased down a hallway. Then a man appears and grabs the child. The scene ends with a woman screaming, and then someone ends up being chased through a crowd with Kingsguard in tow. The scene supposedly is being filmed in Linden and will require over 50 extras, mounted horsemen, and it will take 4 days to shoot. The casting call supposedly will be announced in the next few weeks. And then the second scene is the one with the tuning fork. No pyrotechnics were used, but it took over 6 weeks, and it was one of the first things they shot at Leavesden. Then the third scene is like basically the 5-year tourney, and that's with Daemon sort of hitting the ground and crashing on the beach. I'll show that. Hang on one second. This leak sort of goes along with that. But yeah, so basically they mentioned that after he returns from the stepstones, he's putting on a scene for Viserys. So Viserys is apparently in the scene as well, or can at least be watching him from the distance. And is making it seem as though he's been struggling in the stepstones, but in all actuality, he's just been sort of sitting back and fucking with the whores. And then occasionally he'll fly on over on his dragon. And, Corlys, for the most part, has been doing the hard duties. And Daemon has just sort of managed a campaign of fear, torture, and brutality. Like I said, that's not necessarily what happens in the books, but that would be an interesting take for this series. And it sort of is in line with his character. It's not necessarily what he did. He definitely got his hands dirty, but I'm saying it would be in line with his character. And this will be the last question I take. Let's see. Devin says, Drogon did throw tantrums, but I feel like Dany's dragons mostly lacked personality. How do you think they will be portrayed in the show? Well, kind of what I was just mentioning about the scrapping over food. The fact that Caraxes kind of wants to do his own thing. Maybe there's scenes where other dragons are somewhat more tame, where they can be locked in cages and chained up, and maybe they listen a little bit more, but ultimately aren't as ferocious. And Daemon may be able to communicate with his dragon differently, where he can sort of think, and the dragon knows what he's thinking. These Targaryens have spent so much more time with these dragons than Daenerys did. Obviously, Daenerys spent years with them, but these Targaryens have been like in their cradle with these dragon eggs, so their bond is so much stronger. And also, it's kind of sort of like Daenerys had too much to control, where each one of these Targaryens has less to worry about. They don't have to sort of rebuild their house. All they have to worry about is riding the dragon. Obviously, there's roles and duties that they have to take part in, but for the most part, they've gotten to chill, right? And learn how to ride these dragons. So I think that's one of the ways that they'll show it, is by having similar moments that contrast on screen. So maybe Rhaenyra is shown having an argument with Alicent, and there's something that happens with her dragon where her dragon reacts the same way Rhaenyra did. Like, there's so many different ways they could play it, but I think for the most part, it's just going to be reflected in the personality of their rider and how that is explained. Like, maybe we don't necessarily get to see it, but maybe there's like reminiscing where they're like, hey, you remember when my dragon did this, this, and that? And then we get to see like, oh shit, okay, they're very much like their counterpart, right? And their rider. I think this is a good point to wrap this up. We're right at 51 minutes. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please do me a massive motherfucking favor and slap a like on this video. So like goal is going to be 42069. I want to thank every single person who was in the chat, who joined me while we were doing this live stream. I just, this was a lot of fun. Want to thank you all so much for watching. My name is Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Long Night Review.